Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys, and a happy new year to everyone. We're going to get back to it on the Porsche today. As you know from the previous video, we've had all the parts sprayed now, so it's a case of building up what we have. So getting on it with the body kit, let's get to it. Great news, all the Porsche parts back from the body shop. They're all now ready to be basically built up. Today's mission is basically build up the front bumper and then seeing what actual parts I've got left in my box. But it's all looking good. The garage is extremely full now, as you can see there, and got to be extra careful with all these parts just to make sure that I don't scratch any now that they're ready to be put back on the car. So in terms of what I've actually got to do this now, I have got some proper body shop stands coming, but they're not here yet. So they should arrive today. So I did grab a load of these just from Screwfix, and these will do for today. What I'll do is just make sure I've got some padding on the tops for when I'm flipping the bumpers over. And what I'll do as well is I'll show you the bumpers painted, and then I'll show the bumpers with all the grills, everything built up on, and then hopefully as well we'll get to a stage where in the next couple of weeks all these bumpers are then mounted to the actual car itself. Okay, so now with the front bumper looking really good. Don't know if the camera will quite pick it up there, but you can see all the metallic flake in there as well, and these are actually just to keep the bumper in a solid position before you've mounted the grills. So these, now it's been painted, will actually be able to just snap off, and that then will allow me to fit the grill section. Now I'm gonna, before I do that, make sure I do get all the parts out for the grill and make sure that that is definitely the case. You've also got the cutouts as well for the parking sensors, so again I can pop them straight in from the original. So it should come together pretty fast as long as I can suss out where all my fixings are as well, which did come with this kit to be fair. So I'll have a look, see what they're like, if they're any good, or whether I actually need new fixings that are going to be a bit better quality. But yeah, really happy with how these have come out and cannot wait to see them on the actual car itself. Even seeing them built up is going to be like a massive thing and a big step forward in this project. So just to give you a bit of an idea to the scale of task this is, just to build up the front bumper and what you get when you buy one of these kits, I'll show you now all the parts that I've got. And some are obvious as to where they go. Some have got labels which you can translate from Chinese to English, and that's okay, that gives you a bit of an idea. Other stuff, labels are missing or were never there, so this should be fun for you guys, not so fun for me. But hopefully this video, if ever anyone does buy one of these kits, will give you a good idea as to where stuff should go, how it fits, and how it looks ultimately in the end. So starting off with the grill section, so you've got the big section of grill, which, as I say, we'll have to take these out to fit that. And then you've got like a finishing piece. I can only imagine that's maybe the bottom of the grill, potentially. You've got this piece here, which I believe slots into this. This is like two sections, which is essentially the front diffuser, if you like, which replaces the original diffuser. And then moving here, this is all the other parts to build up this front end. Now I've got a couple of parts still in that box for the rear end, but yeah, this kind of gives you an idea as to what you actually get. So you've got things that aren't too bad and were labelled. You've got these which basically strengthen the bumper, so they'll sit behind each corner of the bumper at the front end as they do on the original that you take off. So that's just a replacement for this bumper for that. And then you've got things like these, which are obviously going to be your grills, and they're quite clearly, I'd imagine, going to sit under each side there. And it's actually quite nice to have all these louvered grills as well, because that then means that there's nothing that's going to be open on the front end, nothing that's going to then look like it's missing. I have been given this style grill which has the radar. That may now be something that I'll put on. The only advantage, I guess, would be the cruise control then would use the radar, so I could set the cruise control and it would slow down and speed up as per the vehicle in front. I guess the other option would be to just leave that in place and it looks like I've got radar, but I've not. As I say, a lot of these pieces now either missing labels or don't have labels. When I have got them, it's not too bad. But yeah, that is the task for today. I'm going to try and build this front bumper up today, and then there's not too much to do on the rear bumper, to be honest. So yeah, the focus, I guess, is going to be front bumper, get it to the position where it's ready to mount onto the car, and also then that gives me a good opportunity to see the bumper built up. So let's get to it. So that is the first grille section in, and my two side panels. I managed to finally fathom how they went in, simply riveting. Okay, so I've worked out a few of the parts in terms of where they need to go. So I've got this, which I'll show you in a minute. This is going to basically slot in there, but I'm not too sure whether there's any lights or any bracketry to go underneath that yet. And then same on the other side. And then we have got the centre grille, which I have it the right way around. Slots on nicely there. All the holes line up, so that'll just fit in there. And then I've not got too many parts there to actually try and identify, so that's got rid of the bulk of it, and just double check that I've not got to put anything underneath here before I clip these in. Now we're also adding some of the more sexy parts, so the LED lights. So I think these are indicators, but they basically slot in to these sections here, and it's just 3 screws, and then that fills essentially that gap, as you can see there, once that's pushed in place. Again, I'm still not too sure whether there's anything else that needs to put on before I slot that in properly, but yeah, I'll put this on the other side now, and then it's looking almost complete. Right, so that's pretty much everything slotted in place now. So, let's see how she looks. So that is the front bumper so far. Still a few pieces to slot in on the front. I think I've got something to go here and a few other little bits and bobs, but looking very good. I'm moving back to the parts that I've got left now. So what I've got, I think this is one of the things that goes on the front section to give it a bit more aggression. Got these two, which I've no idea what they're for. Again, these two, got a pair of them there for the front section, and that's for the lower grille. I've got two long pieces, no idea what they're for, some kind of finishing pieces, may even be for the rear. I've got a sticker on there, so I will check that. And I believe these are for the rear section, so I don't need to worry too much about them. And I've got the actual diffuser itself, so I'll put these pairs on now and then see if there's anything that looks like it's missing from there. Okay, so that's one side done, and kind of figured these out. They're not too bad to get in, to be fair. They just literally clipped on that one, nothing to actually fix it. I'm a little bit worried about that one. It seems to be a little on the loose side, but I'll go from the back and see what I can do to stick that in. May need to put some glue on that just to make sure it does hold. This one, again, some clips at the back here and here, and then it's actually got a screw in at the bottom, and that's what holds that in. So I'm more confident in that section. I think that looks amazing. Really, really impressed with that. Really aggressive front end, and yeah, excited for getting this on the car, seeing how it mounts up. But yeah, I'll crack on with this side now, get those two pieces in, see what I can do with that end one, see if I can fix it a little bit better from the back. Okay, so it's the next day now. I had to do some DIY. One of my strip lights that have gone out, so I'll fix that now. So I've got a little bit more light in the garage. Makes it a lot easier to do this stuff. And as you would have saw, it's now fully bolt up. I've got the front diffuser, if you like, just to bolt together. So I've got three sections of it here. This kind of goes inside into these sections here, and then you've got this piece which kind of attaches to this somehow. So I've got to suss that out. And then this piece is actually like a finishing piece, hence it's been done in body colour, and that will essentially sit onto them three areas there and also screw into these sections. So in theory, I'm assuming the best way to go about this is to build this up separately, then attach it to the actual main front bumper. But that then should be pretty much everything done other than my wiring for the bumper. So I've just got to have a little search for my parking sensors. I'll take a look at the video that I did for when I dismantled it, just to see how it needs to run. And then attach that in, put the parking sensors in, and then also I may get onto the tailgate. So the tailgate lights can probably go in. That again gets rid of some more boxes from here, gives me a bit more space. And I think I've also got the rear bumper as well, which is currently just outside. I'll have a look at that, see what pieces need to go onto that. I think there's a reflector, there's a couple of like brackets, if you like. It's not dissimilar to the edge ones. I think it's more just to give the structure to the bumper itself. So I'll get those on as well. Again, get stuff out the way. Got the side skirts in there, they've all been painted. So I have got my old one just up there, And I've just got one thing that I think I will have to do on the actual car, which is the panelling across the doors. So the lower panelling is the same as that, so it's just like a plastic rough surface. So I think at some point I'm going to have to pull them off and do them body colour, just so it matches the actual side skirt and the body panelling, and then it'll look right, because I think that's going to stand out like a sore thumb otherwise. But that will be for a later date. I won't be getting onto the side skirts at the moment. They're pretty easy to install, to be honest. So I've just took those apart again, and it's just so I can get this in first. I think that's going to be the best way to do it. Simply slots in there, and then that gives you the bracketry that you need to then attach this piece on the other side. And that's just a case of trying to work out if this actually has any fixings that need to go in before I do anything else. Maybe one there, but we'll see. And then yeah, be flipping that over, attaching that piece, and then I can probably mount that bit back onto it. Okay, so that's that together, and actually managed to find where these lower duct sections went as well. It's really impressive, to be honest, the amount of aero that's on this front bumper. What I'll probably look to do next is I might even look to mount that onto the front bumper, and then we'll get this piece on last, I think. I have got another few odd bits and bobs here. Not too sure whether these are actually for the rear bumper, to be honest. I'm pretty sure this piece is, and that may be as well. So yeah, I'll see what I've got left in a minute, and probably start putting the rear bumper together as well, and that should give me an idea if I've got anything that I'm missing or anything extra that should have gone on. But hopefully I've not missed anything. But yeah, really impressed with how these have all gone together. I did actually manage as well with the plastics on the outside. I know I said yesterday that they weren't quite hooking in. Once I flexed the bumper a little bit, they slotted in, clicked in place, so there's no actual glue required for any of it, which again, really impressive. And well, cannot grumble one bit about this kit. It's come together really nicely so far. Right, so what I've found on this is the best way to have done this would have been to have attached this actually before attaching the bumper side pieces, because you have to go kind of in between that and the bumper. As you can see there, I've managed to squeeze it in, to be fair, and I've also took the duct off as well, just so I can make sure I've got these clips in as we come along here. That now can basically go back in place. I'll take this one off on this side, and again you can see here why I've got the issue I have. That needs to go around the outside of there and then on the inside of the actual bumper itself to fit properly, so I'll do that as well in a minute. And then that's this piece all together then. But again, it's coming together really well. All the clips are lining up nicely and everything's clipping in really well. So yeah, very happy. Okay, so we're now on with that. I've managed to get that slotted in between. Got a few scratch marks, particularly that one from storage, which is a bit annoying, but it's on the underneath of the car. The rest of it's come together really well. Just going to attach this now, which will go onto this to complete the front bumper, I think then. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing else other than the parking sensors and some of the wiring loom to go in there, so I'll try and do that now and see how it goes together. So this is the first piece that I'm not particularly too sure how exactly it's meant to mount. You'd expect like this, but I just don't see how you'd have that kind of finish at the bottom there unless there's something else that goes across the trim line there that I haven't discovered yet. So I'll try and suss that out, find out what's going on there. They were already on as it came, so I'd imagine they all line up with the holes, so it would make sense that it goes there. But yeah, I just can't work out why or what would go there. But yeah, let's have a dig around, see what other bits I've got, and I'll try and suss that out. Just gone ahead and screwed all those in, and to be fair, it does pull it into place. I guess it is the underneath of the car, but I'd say that's the first piece that I wasn't too keen on. But then again, there may be an under tray off the original that actually bolts through here, because these all line up and give you the ability to bolt through. So that then I guess could finish off that quite nicely, because the rest isn't too bad. There's a bit of a gap there, but again, it's underneath the car. So that is, as far as I'm aware, the front bumper now complete. And yeah, I'll get onto the back bumper and then have a look at doing the parking sensors on the front as well. Okay, so moving on to the rear bumper, and I've already put the reflectors in. So there's one either side, they just clip in place, and then you've got a screw on either side as well. And then you've got like the finishing pieces for the rear diffuser. So you've got this section, which is literally just going to slot into here and here. You'll then slot this section in, which basically is a finishing piece at the bottom, comes across the bottom there. And then that just covers any of these gaps up here as well. So I'm going to look to put all that in, and hopefully I won't regret that, because I do need to get the exhaust in here as well. But yeah, hopefully I won't be causing any issues putting this on now. I'm going to do it anyway. If I need to, I can always take it off. Okay, so I've actually just managed to get some of the wiring in here as well. So I've just took the loom down at the bottom, just cable tied it in here, got the parking sensors in now. These two were colour coded anyway, so they weren't too bad. The two either side here and here were not, so I may well end up taking them out and just giving them a quick spray. I'll see how they'll look on the other side later on. And then we've also got gaps here. Now I'm assuming that's something to do with some radar, or maybe even the 360 camera, so it might be something that I've actually got with that system that I'm going to retrofit in. Certainly the wiring I'll be putting in across here. Unfortunately, because the 360 camera's for my actual car, not for obviously this 2024 front bumper, I am going to have to get a different style bracket to sit on correctly just here. So I'm going to order that up tonight, hopefully get that before it gets to the point of having to fit this on the car. But if not, what I'll do is I'll get everything fitted on the car. The 360 stuff is a nice to have, so I can always retrofit that and maybe do a video specifically on that at a later date. But it all has gone in really, really well, so I've really been impressed with this kit. I do need to double check what wiring connectors I have. I've probably got them in the car somewhere for this, so it's just to connect this to this, and then obviously you've got some more wiring here. It may again even be part of the kit for the headlights, where the loom actually comes down to this, but I'll double check that and I'll let you know the score on that. Otherwise, yeah, really, really impressed. And hopefully the wires being here, hopefully they're in the right position to connect up to the car. We'll find out when it goes on. But yeah, that is this done. There wasn't a great deal to do on the rear bumper, but I've done what I could on that and shown you that. Next I'm going to do the tailgate, fit the centre LED strip light into the tailgate. Then I think I've pretty much done all I can in terms of prepping this. So I don't think there'll be much else to do then, other than to actually physically fit it on the car. So next protocol, the next time I've got some time, is I'll probably pull the car forwards to be able to mount the bonnet. If not, we'll work on the back end, we'll fit all the back end up. I'm hoping Carl's going to be able to help me with that. He's the main man when it comes to that stuff. Been really, really impressed with the quality of the kit, to be honest, and obviously getting it sprayed has been fantastic, the work that's been done on that by the body shop. So big thank you to him for doing that for me. What I'll do now, I'll get stuck into the tailgate and just do a quick sort of once over on that, and then hopefully on the next video I'll be able to show you all these parts going physically on the car. Okay, so a little bit guessing really on the LED bar, but I've got right, which goes to this cable here, and you do have this rubber here, which I'm assuming is going to go through that section, and then your left, obviously your L on that side for that there. They seem to go on nicely. There's not really any other connections here. I might just put a couple of rubber connectors onto them for the condensate, but other than that, it should then bolt through these sections, and that should be us mounted. But I've not seen any fixings for these, to be fair, so I might have to have a quick look for them, see where they are. Who knows, with this kit, they could be in any of the boxes. Okay, so that's it flipped round. I have had to use some of my own washers because these seem to be the bolts that were supplied with it, and they didn't quite have the seated washers big enough. So a couple of washers on there, and that should pull that light bar right in place. And we'll flip it round and see what it looks like. Now we'll show this in the daylight as well, but I think that looks really good. Really, really good. I love these light bars, especially this is like the tinted version that Porsche would have done, so a replica of that. And one thing I would say with these tailgates as well, that you just have to bear in mind, is you're obviously getting it as a casket, so there's no rear window. Now I've not checked yet, I'm hoping my rear window will slot into that, but I will have to check that with the supplier. I'm now gonna put on the Porsche badging on here. So the one I've got with this is in like chrome, and I think I'm going to stick with the chrome, to be honest. Sometimes you get these in black, but I think the chrome will stand out a little bit nicer, and depending on what I go for the wheels, I can always wrap it black afterwards if I decide to change that. But yeah, what a difference this is going to make to the back end. So that's all the bumpers now built up, and it's been a massive step forward in this project. Really looking forward now to actually fitting some of these parts on the car. So in the next video, guys, what we're going to be concentrating on is I've got the glass work booked in. So I've got the front windscreen to be replaced. I've got the tailgate glass going in. I can confirm that the original tail glass does go into this unit, so we're going to see how that actually fits, because it's not a Porsche factory part and it's going to be a Porsche factory window going in, so that'll be interesting to see. We're now literally just a few weeks away from actually getting this on the road, I reckon, so hopefully in the next few videos we're going to start seeing some dramatic changes, and hopefully in maybe 2 videos time this car will be on the road and I can basically showcase it and show you guys a actual finished vehicle, because this one's been a long project. A lot of work and a lot of time's gone into this one, but I think it's going to be well and truly worth it when it is done. So I look forward to showing you guys that in the upcoming videos. Thank you again very much for all the support, guys. Really appreciate it. If you could hit that like button if you've not done already, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.